And you kind of have worries there because that's been their Achilles, right? So,
I see what you did there.
Yes, absolutely. And then the equivalent is Matt Ryan, right? As my dog.
Yeah, he's very Matt Ryan-esque.
Yeah. So look at that. There you go.
What's up?
He's just chilling right now. He just wanted to join the conversation. That's what he liked.
Where's Tally?
Where's Tally at? Right, exactly.
Tally's out for a walk actually right now. Dropping a double deuce out there on nighttime before, how they do.
I made a mistake. I didn't take him out. So okay. I'm on the clock here after this. So he's going to hang out and let me know about it. But
okay,
he'll be good. Yeah.
When you compare the contracts, and listen, if Kirk Cousins stays healthy, even though his numbers have been declining steadily, if he stays healthy, can he distribute to their weapons? And they have a top 10 defense. They're probably going to add the elite edge rusher in this draft with the 8th overall pick. I mean, Atlanta, I'm not going to sit here and say they're not formidable. They are. Yeah. And if Cousins assimilates into this system, this LA Rams type of system, they got a shot to be pretty good. They just signed Michael Thomas, right, as well, which, he's on the back.
Did they really? I did not see that.
I'm pretty sure I saw that. Yeah, so they agreed to term.
And then you got Michael Thomas, and you got
Kyle Pitts,
who has been
Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. I mean,
they got what?
They're loaded. And their defense was good decent last year, but their pass rush sucks, so they'll address that. So, they're a formidable opponent. There's no question about it. And they're the favorites now. Everybody's like, put them as the favorites. Fine. That's fine. It's exactly where the Bucs want to be. Underrated. That's our jam. That's where we need to be. So good for them. Carry the mantle of expectations, and we'll see where it ends up. Listen, injuries be what they are. This is some key players that are older, Levonte and Mike Evans. So, that is what it is. But both of those guys, as far as professionals that keep themselves in good shape, wow, it's hard to get better than that. So, yeah, it's a great haul for the Buccaneers. It's hard to imagine that they could have done any better. It's
absolutely correct about that. And now, with trading Carlton Davis, does cornerback become your biggest need? Because I get it. You got Jamel Dean, but he's also off injured. You got Zion McCollum, who you're not sure with. This is a draft that has, some corners there. An Enos, I believe his name is Rackstraw.
Yeah.
From that's somebody they would be looking at. Kool-Aid McCaffrey, that name in itself, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, can he stay healthy? Is that a guy that drops to 26? Does that become your biggest need, or is it still edge? And then, furthermore,
I think it's still edge because you got Zion McCollum steps up for Carlton Davis. They've got to draft the corner. I think that with that extra 3rd round pick, they'll definitely drop a corner by then. Maybe even the 2nd round. So I see corner. I think they go and they get an experienced center because there's still a couple on the market. So you address that in free agency. You draft a left guard, or maybe find a veteran in that particular space. So I think the offensive line can be really, really good, especially if you can get a decent center. And then, I think you look at edge rusher, you look at corner, Chase Edmonds signs, and I thought he had some really good moments in the second half of the season once he got right. Okay. I thought he added a nice little pop and a compliment for Rachaad White. I wouldn't mind them, drafting another running back, a kind of a speedster. So I think, look, there's a lot that they can still do, and I think will do. They're not done. And that's the magic of this. That is the most important. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, is these lower than market deals for Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans have allowed them some flexibility to do those other things. I don't think the Falcons have that type of flexibility with this huge contract, and they're going to have to start shedding some salary as early as next year. And how they, and I don't, we'll talk about this with Sandra Golden, is there a lot of fans wanted Justin Fields up there. And I don't know what's going on with Justin Fields. For the life of me,
he's not getting traded because the Bears are playing this game of poker where they thought they were going to get more than a 2nd round pick and basically the value is not there.
Maybe that's it. Okay.
So the Bears, and then that's why I thought Kirk Cousins was going to go to the Falcons, because I didn't think they were going to give the Bears what they're looking for. And plus, if you're the Bears at this point, you could trade down to Washington and get a plethora of picks, 3 first rounds.
Right.
Caleb Williams, if you still believe in Justin Fields. And to me, you either have to hold on to him or you have to take whatever the Raiders are going to give you, because supposedly Pittsburgh was in that chase. They're out with Russell Wilson signing there. I don't know if that makes the playoff team. And then, of course, you got the Atlanta
Falcons.
Falcons.
Be interesting.
So the Bears were banking on all this. And if I'm the Washington Commanders, I'm sitting out there and saying, you know what? I'm not trading for Justin Fields. I'm trading for that first-round pick. If I want Caleb Williams, which it seems like they do, JP, because of the hiring with Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
I want Caleb Williams. I'm going to trade up for him, and that's the kind of crazy thing Washington would do. And the Bears
stupid.
Accept that. Right. So, and then you look at it the other way. If the Bears keep Justin Fields, then they could build around him. You know, Darnell Mooney just signed. I think it was Moody who you're talking about, signed with the Atlanta Falcons there. That's the one who signed. So they're going to need a number 2 wide receiver to pair with DJ Moore. You have 3 wide receivers just in that first round, in that top 10 you could go after. The kid out of LSU, Neighbors. You also have
He's really good.
Jr.
He's going to be a great pro.
Yes, and Romeo Odunze from Washington. So you have 3 top wide receivers there. You could trade down. You build that lineup. You build the offensive lineup. You build around this kid instead of continuing to push reset, because the Bears have become a quarterback graveyard. And the reason why is different coach, different this, different that. That's why I was talking to Bucs fans. Why would you want Russell Wilson? Why would you want another quarterback? Continue to play these, quarterback musical chairs. And that's the reason why the team stinks. Keep the continuity in there. If you do that, you have a chance to win some games.
No question about it. As I check the free agent tracker, the newest signings here.
Yeah, I mean a lot of moves.
Oh, we've got to mention Shaq Barrett going to the Miami Dolphins, 1-year contract worth up to $9 million. They're very excited in Miami about Shaq Barrett. I wish him the best. We're gonna miss him. Maybe he comes home after this year and plays again for the Buccaneers. I could see that happening. So good luck to him. That's great. Aaron Brewer, by the way, the center that the Bucs may have been looking for, signed a 3-year deal with the Dolphins for $21 million.
Yes. Derrick Henry went to the Ravens.
Yes. How about that? How about the Ravens rushing attack? Holy shizbag.
Oh, wow.
Again, I was talking about Justin Fields and Bijan Robinson, in that zone read RPO type deal where, you just two big men that can really, really freaking run. And now you got, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, he's putting that ball in his belly, and I'm a linebacker, and I don't know if he's going to give it to that freaking runaway train, and I've got to load up to tackle that thing, or he's going to pull it, and I got to chase that dude around. I mean, if you're a linebacker or a defensive end, you're like, no, I don't know. I want no part of this. Yeah, it's tough, and this modern day NFL, that's going to be one hell of a deal, and the Ravens will win 16 games and get to the playoffs, and Lamar will choke. So,
right.
Good luck with that.
Because you put him into a game, you put him into a bad game plan there. You force him to throw the ball more than what you do. I get it. He improved from the pocket, but you got to run the ball, and you have that opportunity with Henry, and then on top of it, you have Zay Flowers and. Mark Andrews back, who's very underrated as a tight end, maybe one of the best young tight ends in the league. So they got all kinds of weapons. They're ready to go for the Super Bowl. And, of course, everybody's trying to aim and get – who's been really quiet, who hasn't gotten a deal here, JP, yet?
Who's that?
Been like crickets. Devin White. I thought he was like a top 5 linebacker. Like he's a top 5. Why did Philly sign?
Where's that $100 million deal, huh?
Right. So what's going on with Devin White in his camp right now? I mean, you got to think he looked at David's deal and said, "Wow, they're going to give him $10 million. He's 34 years old, and they're basically not giving me. They're not giving me anything." I mean,
he's gone, bro. That, right?
Oh yeah, he's done.
A few people kept thinking that he was worth something, or The Bucks were, oh, are they not going to offer? They haven't mentioned anything about Devin White. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, that ship sailed a long time ago.
Yes.
And Todd Bowles was trying to keep it at the dock as long as he could, but Jason Licht's like, no, let it go. Let it go, Todd.
Yeah.
Let it go off into the deep blue sea. We don't need it anymore.
That's a Titanic boat with Devin White on it, especially with him trying to play linebacker or tackle somebody or show some effort, because he just showed very little effort last year. And we continue to talk about White and the way he plays football. What was the big time thing when he came out and got drafted? He couldn't cover. Guess what? He still can't cover. Why would you sign him?
Like, a lot of stuff that he could not do lately, but good for good. We wish him the best of luck.
Yeah,
but not here. Josh Uche was the guy that maybe the Bucks were looking at, edge rusher from the Patriots. He re-signed with the Patriots on a 1-year deal, so he will not be coming our way, unfortunately. Any other signings here?
Ryan Burns to the Giants.
That was a big one.
Panthers, and you also had Daniel Hunter.
Yeah.
Texans.
Yeah, that was a big one. $20 million deal.
Yep.
A year, right? Is that 1-year deal? No, I can't remember exactly.
That was a multi-year deal.
Yeah, multi-year deal.
Yeah.
But like a 20 a year. That's the Texans, man. Wow. That they are loaded. They are freaking loaded. That is a team to watch in the years to come. That's a big get for them. Local kid Nelson Aguilar signs with the Ravens. Signed a 1-year extension there. The Bengals doing some stuff. Zach Moss agreed to a 2-year, $8 million contract, running back there. But still, the big deal with that is what the hell's going on with Joe Burrow's wrist? That could be career ending. Who knows? And how about the Cleveland Browns signing Jameis Winston?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, they
Jameis Winston.
And he's going to back up Deshaun Watson, which, by the way, he'll have a great opportunity to maybe start some games with Watson's injury history the last couple years. And then if you want to talk about off the field, I know Winston was never convicted of, but they did have they did have some allegations there. So imagine that quarterback room. And going back to the Bengals, I'm sorry, I had to mention that. Joe Mixon.
No massage therapists to the quarterback room. Off limits.
Zero.
Do not send the massage therapist into the quarterback room, please.
Nothing. Zero for both of those guys because they have a problem. They have a problem. Wow.
Patrick McQueen. I said Patrick Queen signing with the Steelers. Lightning McQueen. My little stepson Hudson got these Lightning McQueen Crocs that light up, and he can't. Oh my God, he can't stop. Look, they light up. They're great. Everywhere he wears them, wears them to bed. So Patrick Lightning McQueen agreed to a 3-year, $41 million deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who get Russell Wilson. They had just acquired Dante Jackson from the Carolina Panthers for Deontay Johnson, wide receiver. So that Pittsburgh defense is going to represent, and now the offense will be led by Russell Wilson or Kenny Pickett, depending on who you believe.
Well, you would think it's Russell Wilson. I mean, and to me, this is a Tomlin move where you turn the page on Pickett if he doesn't perform in training camp and in preseason. I mean, it's that soon. You don't go out and sign Russell Wilson, and I get it. You're getting him for a minimum salary, but let's face it. When Russ is healthy, he's put in the right situation. You have a run game around him, and that's when he excelled with the Seahawks with that run game and beast mode. You can have that run game there, balance to that offense. You may have something going there, and never rule out Mike Tomlin because he gets the best out of his players. That's why the Steelers almost every year make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, Patrick Queen just seems like a Steelers linebacker, you know. Patrick Queen. It just really watch out for the Steelers. Watch out for the Steelers. The Texans we mentioned, I forgot to mention Joe Mixon acquired from the Bengals to the Texans. Great. That's a great get. Danielle Hunter's a 2-year, $49 million deal, $48 million guaranteed. Edge rushers make money. So the Texans are primed and ready. They really are. The Colts signed Michael Pittman to a 3-year, $70 million deal. So they kept him around. Not much else going on there. The Jags, Mac Jones, that's just bizarre. I don't get that. They did sign Gabe Davis to a 3-year, $39 million deal, has a max value of $50 million. That's been the biggest wide receiver contract handed out, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been kind of a down market for that. So,
again, going back to it, the Bucs fans very fortunate, Bucs in general very fortunate, and it always goes back to the wife, right? I mean, you have a significant other here in the future. The significant other was the one that influenced that decision by Evans, saying, "Listen, if you want to stay here, maybe it's better for us to stay in Tampa." He comes to that conclusion, talks to Jason Light, and next thing you know, he's a Buck for life. I mean, if he goes out into that free agency class, Kansas City will probably overpay. There'll be a lot of teams out there that would overpay. They would probably pay over $30 million. So once again,
he took way less. He took way less guaranteed money to stay here. So thank you, Ashley Evans.
Yes,
we love you. You're awesome in the community, and now you kept your man here. So if you could only go to maybe help Giselle out a little bit, we might have had Brady in a better state of mind. So Ashley Evans, better than Giselle. Yes, much better than Giselle.
Yeah, some heroes don't wear capes, and she's one out for Bucs fans.
And plus, she's not banging the jiu-jitsu guy either.
Oh, there you go. That's always a good thing. Yeah.
Way to go, Giselle. Who else? Bubba, the Chiefs didn't do much but bring back Chris Jones. That's what they needed to do. And L'Jarius Sneed gets the non-exclusive franchise tag, but will probably be traded, they say. So we shall see what happens with them. The Raiders get Gardner Minshew, but I think Justin Fields might still be in play for the Raiders. It might still be in play. So we'll see on that, how that works out. You may be right on that. The Bears may be like asking for a first round pick and everybody's like, no. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And of course in the great NFC South, it's all, but I think the Buccaneers get a grade A. Way better than what the Falcons did. Yeah, Darnell Mooney signs a 3-year, $39 million deal, 26 guaranteed with the Falcons, and Kirk Cousins, of course, grossly overpaid. How about the Panthers going ham on guards? They trade away McCaffrey and Brian Burns. Don't get a first round pick for any of them, for either nothing. You get nothing. No first. It's stupid. This is the worst run organization. Luke Combs was 100% right. Luke Combs is getting on Twitter just bashing the Panthers. They signed Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis with $153 million for 2 guards. Good job with that.
That sounds like the Bucs and yesteryear there. Remember, they signed Michael Johnson at defensive end. He was ghosted.
Oh, God, the worst free agent class. Yeah. Oh,
they signed another guard. I think it was Mark Dominic from New Orleans. He was a highly rated guard. Then he hurt his foot. I think he played like 4 games and he was done. Remember that? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not always a certainty. Just because you get a guard in free agency doesn't necessarily mean they're always going to work out. And then furthermore, you have to watch, and that's the great thing about Jason Light in this organization. They get guys that are going to fit. They didn't feel, and this is just my opinion, I feel like they wanted to move on from Carlton Davis because they didn't feel like he fit anymore. His play declined. His tackling wasn't as great. He was injured. Why not get somebody younger or give a McCollum?
Zion McCollum, he's playing better anyway. So save the $14 million in cap, get a better player, and get a 3rd round pick, which you could turn into a corner. That's a brilliant deal by once again Jason Light. The Jason Light charity boat parade. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, quick break. There's your NFL free agency news. We're going to talk some hoops with the great Coach Z. Harry the Greek's going to give us some picks a little bit later on, and Sandra Golden's going to join us from Atlanta to talk about what the hell's going on with the Falcons. Big show coming your way. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local and they get results, folks. So don't go taking your business to some big firm and doesn't even know where Tampa is. Don't need that. Guy here locally in St. Pete and in Tampa will take care of you, and their law firm will be very aggressive in representing you. It's a Jeeves Law Group. All right, back in 3. Stay with us. JP here for my friends at your local Synovus Bank, and I do mean friends, and I do mean local. One of the local managers in Tampa is John Acosta, big fan of the show, and I've known him for over 40 years. He's been in local banking since 1983. You talk about developing relationships. You don't stick around for that long unless you're doing things the right way and have a great reputation, and that's the focus company-wide at Synovus. Big enough to handle any complex international transaction, but small enough to answer the phone when you have an urgent question about your business or personal account. And for personal accounts, they have a very easy app that works great. You can do everything online. And for large or small businesses, you will get that personal touch and services to help build your business, taking your dreams and aspirations from the whiteboard to reality. We can make that happen. Let us show you how. For a get-acquainted meeting to open a business or personal account, just call John or go to Synovus.com to find out where your local branch is. Everyone knows Italiano Insurance is your go-to for home insurance, but they also have an amazing team that focuses on business insurance. Yes, your business is most likely your biggest asset, so make sure you have the right coverage at the most competitive price. And if you started a side hustle recently, don't forget you need business insurance, because if you get sued in this over-litigious society we live in, you could lose all your personal wealth. So get that business insurance. And for the best customer service, always choose Italiano. My representative, Charity, is amazing. I called her late on a Friday because my insurance was going to lapse. She stayed late until the job was done. You just don't find that anymore. Give them a call, 813-877-7799. That's 813-877-7799. Italiano Insurance. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to GeddesGordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Pearson Show on this hump day. We are doing a little pre-recording here, so if you guys are jumping in the comments, we apologize. We won't be responding to you, but people will be reading them, so jump on in there, because we're going to be, Peter and I are both going to be live at the Baker Mayfield press conference. We'll be coming up at 11 o'clock today at $1, so that should be fun. That should be fun. We'll bring all you the fun and frivolity on Thursday, our unique spin. And maybe I'll have a question or two for Baker lined up, Peter. I'm sure you'll have a question or two as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to getting his questions, maybe even Jason Light, because I want to ask him, after all these re-signings,
we'll pin him down on the boat parade. We'll pin him down. Yeah.
Yes. Let's do it.
All right. Let's talk some hoops with our good friend Coach Z, David Zimroth, joining us here, former FSU, USF, and Georgia assistant coach, coached in March Madness. He's our hoops expert. What's up, Z? How are you, my friend?
March Madness, it drove me mad, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for yeah. Dude, come on. Those were I was calling those games. You were coaching those games. That great. We got to reminisce a little about that Florida State team. I mean, you guys were just an inch away from the Final Four, man. That
was unbelievable. Great times. We had a heck of a run and played against a really good Kentucky team and didn't have a good second half. And Edwards was in foul trouble, so everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Who was that little skinny cornfield boy? Jared Prickett? Was that his name? Yeah. He scored 17 points. Like his previous high was like 4. Dude comes off the bench and is out of his mind. Right? Am I remembering this correctly?
he wound up becoming a heck of a player, big kid. Now they refer to kids like him as stretch fours.
Stretch four. Yeah.
Ugh.
That was but hey, you got there. That was a hell of a run. Charlie Ward running the point, and Sam Cassell running your point. That I don't think we've even recruited. I don't think FSU's recruited a point guard since Sam Cassell, have they? I mean, it's been a while.
We were big on having pure point guards. That was Pat Kennedy's background at Iona.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Hamilton is a firm believer in big, strong, long,
Yes.
Ball guards that can, be used in various ways. So there's all kinds of methods to the madness. We felt more comfortable with the ball in someone's hand that controlled every possession per se.
Yeah.
How valuable was Bob Sura to that team? Because
Bobby Sura.
Yeah, you had Cassell, you had Ward, you had Bob Sura. I mean,
tell the Bob Sura recruiting story. Come on, Z. Come on.
And I'm sorry if we're echoing a little bit.
No, not at all.
Not on. If you are, we apologize.
Bob Sura's story, he's been told hundreds of times. He was a kid from Wilkes-Barre, PA, and Pat Kennedy's college coach at King's College, Eddie Donahue, great guy, legendary guy, kept telling us about Bob Sura. And we would always check back then in the USA Today on Mondays. They would have, an honor roll of guys that had played games over the weekend. One game was 50, one game was 55, one game was 44. I mean, the kid was having, big numbers. So Pat sent me up there to go watch the kid, and nobody was recruiting him. I think his only offer was 15, or Sienna, something like that. And I came back and I said, you know what, Pat? The kid is athletic. He plays relentlessly. He's aggressive. He's got good size. Just not sure about how good a shooter he is. So Ed Donahue told Pat, you need to come up here and see the kid. Pat called me from practice and he said, don't worry about anything. Just recruit the kid. He's a pro. And that's exactly how Pat saw his potential. I don't think any of us knew he would do what he did right away.
Yeah. And
he went from being an under-recruited kid to the all-time leading scorer at Florida State with his jersey hanging in the rafters, 10, 12-year NBA career.
Unbelievable.
And, now proud father. So, everything came out unbelievably for him and us.
Yeah. So this is March Madness. This is the time the stars are made. When you see, there's so many good players in college basketball, but this is when the cream rises to the top. We'll start with USF. Is there any feeling that the loss to Tulsa takes a little bit of pressure off? I mean, there's no question now they got to win the tournament to get in, I think, based on the net and all that other BS. So maybe that now that it's clear there's no other way to get in. So go do the job at the AAC tournament in Fort Worth. What do you think?
I'm not so sure about the pressure being off and stuff like that. Those guys have responded to everything.
Yes, they have.
The sad thing for a guy that's been on their bandwagon for a long time, had they just beaten Tulsa, they already won the league, but had they just beaten Tulsa, they would have remained in the top 25. So now the predicament for the selection committee, they get into their own conference tournament, still ranked in the top 25, and get to the championship game and lose. 12 hours later, you're going to take a top 25 team and not have in the NCAA tournament? So that is what I was looking forward to see how it would all come down.
Right.
Now that they lost, the experts with the net, the strength of schedule and everything, they're all saying that they need to win the tournament. So, I think they can win it. I don't think the Tulsa game is indicative of how they're going to play. They've won on neutral courts this year, beating Florida State. They've won on road games. They've won at home. I think they're going to be ready for it, and I think they can do it. I really do. I think they can do it, but I think FAU can do it as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
I want to see that rematch. I want to see that rematch in the championship game. That would be fantastic.
But you look at USF and the season they've had just off the charts. But look at the postseason honors this team just received. They have the coach of the year in Amir Abdur-Rahim.
Mm-hmm.
They got the sixth man of the year in Miguel. They got an all freshman Reed, and they got the co-player of the year in Youngblood. I mean, when you have those kind of awards and postseason honors, that's usually pretty indicative of having one heck of a year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you talked about Coach Raheem. How excited are you? Because I know you have somewhat of a close relationship with him. About him.
I thought I had a close relationship with his brother, not him.
Well, yeah, you got a close relationship with the family. How happy, excited are you for him to win Coach of the Year there for USF?
Well, I think it was a no-brainer. The guy was going to win the Coach of the Year award and probably be in the top 3 for the National Coach of the Year. You cannot have the season he had with the expectations as low as they were and not win Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Coach of the Year awards in every one of these conferences, they usually go to a coach of a team that wasn't projected as having a good year. And then if you have a good year or a great year and you finish in the top 3 or 4, all of a sudden you're a Coach of the Year candidate. I've seen Coach of the Year awards go to people that lost their jobs 3 years later. So, you got to take all that with a grain of salt and live in the now. He won the Coach. I don't think he's going to be discussing Coach of the Year award, in the next few days or the next few weeks. No. Now, if he wins the National Coach of the Year, that's a different story.
Yeah. And let's just hope he sticks around at USF.
Uh-oh. You already got him going?
No, I mean, I don't want to say that because the USF people lose their mind when you say that. But you know how the business works, bro.
Be a little bit more realistic, though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, people ain't going to be knocking on his door. I don't want it to happen. And I'm sure. And look, he loves USF. They gave him an opportunity, but it's a business day. You know this, and there'll be suitors.
There's going to be people. Listen, they all have agents now. There's no doubt in my mind that whoever represents him has already received calls.
Oh yeah.
It all comes down to what job might be available or will be available. Is it better than the one he has?
Mm-hmm.
Is it in a power league? I mean, those are the things you consider. So, look, right now he's the coach of USF. And I'm sure everybody that's a USF supporter wants to see him remain
Enjoy
there.
The ride. Yeah.
The reality is they need to have a short list.
Yeah. And Coach Z needs to be on it. All right. Florida.
I wasn't on the short list when I was on the short list.
Little did you know.
There's only one guy that would turn down every job that came his way and stay at USF. That was Jim Levitt would not have left USF for any reason.
He was offered the Alabama job, for God's sakes, and didn't take it. Yeah.
I got a phone call in those days from Mark Gottfried, who's the head basketball coach at Alabama. He wanted to know what kind of guy Jim Levitt was. I said, I've been working with him. He's a great guy. I mean, him and I have a great relationship. But he would have turned down everything. All that guy wanted to be is the coach of USF.
I know. Yeah, and they fired him. Knuckleheads. Idiots.
But he made a lot of money.
Yeah, he did. It was worth
one person that got fired that didn't make any money.
Right, exactly. He's a college football coach. That's how you make money. To get fired. All right, so the Gators.
When they gave me my departure papers or whatever, they said, this is all you're getting from your sick leave and vacation days. I went, what? I mean, I walked out of there. I cried 2 days in a row.
No severance? No. You didn't get the golden parachute like everybody else? What the hell?
Hey, my severance lasted till I took a job at Home Bank Mortgage 2 months later.
All right. Hey, quickly, the Gators are 6th seed in the SEC. And they'll play, if they win that, they'll play the winner of the Missouri-Georgia matchup, and then they get Alabama, who they smoked at home at the end of the year. Right. So they're in the tournament. They're in March Madness. This is just a tune-up.
I've said the last few weeks they're playing for a seed. But if you remember, I said last week this Vanderbilt game at Vanderbilt is a difficult game.
You did.
And it wound up being they lost the game. You know, I don't think it's going to affect them. I think they've got good draw coming up, and they should be fine. They should be fine. Those guys, the players are playing for money. The team is playing for seeding, and that coach, guy's in his second year. He's done a heck of a job.
And the Noles have who they have in the first round?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, yeah. Second round. Say they get a little bit of a bye.
They split with Virginia Tech this year. They beat them at home and lost on the road. Interestingly enough, Virginia Tech shot 50% from the three-point line in both games. So they're going to have to really defend the three-point line better than they have in Virginia Tech. It'd be a shame if they lost to Virginia Tech and Virginia Tech went crazy from the three-point line again.
Yeah,
so I'm sure they're making their adjustments and in their scout report and how they prepare for the game.
All right. Anything else, Z, you want to talk about on today's Hoops edition?
I want to give a quick shout out to Isaiah Campbell Finch at Tampa Catholic. The kid had a great year. He got an offer the other day from Dayton. Anthony Grant. So Anthony Grant and I go back to when Anthony was a high school basketball player at Miami High.
Yeah.
So it's all starting to, fall into place for him. That's a heck of an offer, top 20 program.
Yes, sir.
Good for him. The Magic are having a heck of a year.
They are.
Young team. They all know their roles. They realize that Boncaro is their go-to guy, but everybody else on that team is playing good. They got a nice 7-8 man rotation. They're young. They're aggressive. They can score. They're an exciting team. They're an exciting team.
They're worth the trip. I went and saw them the other night beat the Knicks. They're worth the trip. It's a nice little deal they got going at the new center. It's not the Kia Center now. It's really if you're a basketball fan, make a little pilgrimage over to the Kia Center. It's a beautiful venue, really easy in and out, and it's an entertaining team. I just wish they'd stop the damn music during the game. Z, if they play the rock music now, these kids they play the rock the banger music during the game while the game's going on. What the hell's going on?
Hey, I'm with you. These NBA games get like that, but I tell you, I've been saying for years, their arena is one of the nicest basketball arenas I've ever been in. It's just a gorgeous place, and you're right. Parking is phenomenal. If they could figure out a railroad system from Tampa to Orlando, it would even be better.
I hate you, Rick Scott. We voted for this like 20 years ago. Bullet train. Can
you imagine just jumping on a train, being there in an hour, getting off right at the arena or Church Street Station?
You're talking to a man that freaking lives on I-4 now. Are you kidding me? Jesus. God. Well, Brightline's coming soon. They already got it going down to Miami, so hopefully it'll be done here in the next year or two. So we'll have a train.
Caitlin Clark. You always got to end basketball talking about Caitlin Clark.
Dude.
What else needs to be said about the young lady? Unbelievable career. And the way she treats the fans and everybody, she's a breath of fresh air.
Yes, she is. I love watching her play, man. Thank you. She's got a silky smooth J, just like Coach Z. All right, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you. They need the premier coach for their kid, personal coaching, group coaching in Tampa Bay.
Premier coaching, I like that. I might have to change the name of my business.
Yeah, there you go.
D. Zimroth at brighthouse.com.
There you go. There it is. And at DZ Sports on Twitter. Great follow as well. All right. Thanks, Z. Love you, man.
You got it,
Thanks,
gentlemen.
Coach
I'll
Z.
see you.
Appreciate
You're
you.
the best. You're the best.
Anytime.
All right. We'll transition from the Z man to the Greek man, Harry the Greek. He's off stage here. It's got his, what was that? The pasta pan you're beating there? What are you?
Yeah, I was beating a pasta pan. I was screaming at the wife. What the hell is wrong with this pan? Why is it dirty?
Oh my God! What do you take it easy there, man?
I'm not defensive. What's the matter with you, man? I'm not defensive.
I was like, he's got a little bowl of pasta there. He's got the pot of pasta.
How you doing, JP?
I'm good, man.
Peter,
good to see you.
I'm doing good, and the dog heard pasta, so he decided to hang out for a while. He's just hanging out here. He's just hanging out.
Head back there.
Yeah.
It looks like
Callie's laying
that
over
dog
here.
behind you, Peter, looks like a disciple from Biden.
But
I don't even know what that means.
Kamala's got competition now.
Oh, it's like the State of the Union. That would just
Yeah, that's what it is. Hang on. Ready? He tripped.
Oh, you mean you didn't like
He lied again.
by Joe Biden where he said Lincoln Kennedy?
Lincoln Kennedy.
Oh my God.
He's
He's such a never mind. You know what? It's a shame. It really is. I mean, whatever they're giving him, I want some.
he got a victim's name wrong and named the Oklahoma or USC coach. I didn't even know he's coaching coach USC. How do you get that wrong? How do you say Lincoln Kennedy? It looks so
Riley.
Lincoln Kennedy, Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, Lincoln Carter, Lincoln Ford.
You got the name wrong too now. Jeez, Ollie, you better go apologize.
Lincoln Clinton, Lincoln somebody, Lincoln Hillary. I got the Hillary special. You know that, right? No, it's a Monica special.
No, the guy from Boeing the guy testifying against Boeing got the Hillary special. That's who got the Hillary special.
You might commit suicide by shooting yourself in the head and in the chest with your left hand.
Right. Yeah, he
was
flew all the way to across country, rented a hotel to put his life on to testify against Boeing, and then decided, oh, you know what? It's not worth it. I'm going to blow my head. Right.
You know, true story. I'm not a conspiracy theorist whatsoever, but seriously, this is really
what's conspiracy theory about?
I know
that's common sense for God's sake.
I know common sense. You know, there's 48 people. I do not want to be friends with those people, but they just end up dead.
No, you don't.
They just end up dead. I do remember in the previous election when one particular Clinton was running up against Donald Trump, and you know, there was a guy that was a whistleblower against the FBI or something like that, and they went to go meet him like at 4:00 in the morning, and the next thing you know, he was dead on the side of the road in Baltimore. I have names and everything else. It's just it's horrible.
Shocking development. Yeah.
It's just shocking development. You're absolutely correct. JP, let's talk about
if you were going to lay odds, Harry the Greek, since you're an odds maker, if you were going to lay odds,
what's the over under on that?
That was suicide or maybe not. What would it?
I'll tell you what.
Let's talk some
1 to 9. It wasn't suicide. and JP, I don't think you can get. Is there anything stronger than 1 to 9? Even money. No, 1 to 9. Yeah, that's. Hang on, that's $220.
You bet $10 or you bet $100 to make 10, right?
No, it's not even JP. It's 20 cents.
Wow. Okay.
It's 10 cents in the dollar. It's $2.20 for two.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
All right. So what do we you give me odds? What are we talking about here today? We doing March Madness? What are you giving me some what are we doing?
What?
Yeah.
Basketball? 0.
Well, I don't Peter said let's get the Greek on. I mean, what are we doing?
You got the Greek on. I had no idea.
I didn't bring you on to talk politics for God's sake, or maybe I did.
JP, you know what? The Greek wants to talk a little bit about the Tampa Bay Lightning, considering I don't know that much about them this year. I know they struggled for a little while, and I'm sure your viewers, considering you're so instrumental with the Tampa Bay Lightning, I really want to know what your expectations are of this team when they hit the postseason. Is it just get in and see what happens, or is this team really the real deal?
A good question.
Well, I mean, we have one game of evidence with the additions, and they went from losing 6-3 to one of the worst teams in the league who had already sold off most of their players to beating one of the better teams in the league in the Philadelphia Flyers 7-0 and getting their coach tossed. Then that's, Anthony Duclair and Matt Dumba, their defenseman who they brought in. I think great additions. Now, are they 10-goal differential in one game, 48 hours better? No. But I think they both fit very well and fill needs that the Lightning desperately needed. And I've been talking about this for probably 2 months. The Lightning needed some fire. They needed somebody that gets out on the ice and makes shiz happen. Like it wakes your team up and it will bring everybody with him. And Duclair's that kind of cat, man. He's a pain in the ass to play against. He's faster than lightning, pun intended. And he's a crap stirrer, and that's what you need. This team needs that desperately. Without Pat Maroon or Corey Perry,
right,
they need that guy. And Duma's hard to play against. He's an experienced guy that knows how to play the game in a tough physical way. So, and responsible defenseman. So and it can play on a power play as well. So these are two guys that really, they fill needs. They really fill needs. So I'm excited about them. Now, does this, make them title contenders? We got to see more. We got to see the defense be more responsible. Stop giving up grade A, 6 or 7 grade A chances every freaking game. Vassie's got to be better. He's got to be better.
Well, he's just coming off that injury, isn't
right? And that's reasonable to expect. But he of course, Vassie, being Vassie, probably came back too soon. Has played too much since he's been back. I mean, it's a major back surgery, and he's treating it like he just got a tooth pulled. If you just freaking take some time, bro.
Well,
relax.
That's the kind of athlete that he is. That's
exactly.
A real
that's what makes him great. That's what makes him great. He's just ridiculous work ethic, Bo. As you get to be 30 years old, do you want to play to your 38, or do you want to just burn yourself out? So, and it's always been Vassie runs the show. He tells the coach when he's playing and when he's not playing, and it's kind of been accepted that way. And they got to protect him from himself, or he just has to realize that he needs rest. He needs rest. He's getting older, and it just he can't play like he used to play. Father Time is undefeated, and he needs to, for the longevity of this franchise and for him, he needs to, chill out a little bit and let Johansson play and take some breaks, and then I think it'll be better for everybody. So Vassie's got to pick up his game. These two additions, I think, will really help. And then where are the Lightning? Are they the 10th best, 11th, 12th best team in the league? I think that's about where they fall right now. But here's the thing. In hockey, anything can happen. In the playoffs, we've seen 8 seeds win the title, and
like the Kings. You remember the Kings quite a few years ago?
Yeah,
the Blues and everything.
Yeah, not long ago. The Panthers got in on the last minute of the regular season, needed Chicago to have a miracle win for them to even get in the playoffs, and they damn near won the cup last year.
Yep.
So, the playoffs are a different animal. It's a totally different game than a regular season. The Lightning have, great credentials in postseason play. Obviously, they have championship pedigree. They know what it takes. They know how to play. And I don't think anybody wants to face the Tampa Bay Lightning, including, the Boston Bruins in the first round. Nobody wants to. So,
well, I'll tell you what.
That's my take.
About 4 or 5 years ago, it might even have been a little bit longer than that. I remember when the Lightning were going into the playoffs, they were like the hottest team going in, but it just looked like they were running out of gas. And they were playing against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Mm-hmm. And Columbus swept them. And I remember I got like $100 cash for $2,500. That's how big of a favorite. And I actually took the Blue Jackets in that series.
Wow.
And it was strict luck. And this year, I just have this funny feeling that this team, I wouldn't say they're playing possum. They just haven't really hit that stride. Vassie's coming off that injury. And this might be a team that people should really look at as underdogs, especially when they go into the postseason. Because you know what? The price will always, Pete and JP, the price will always make up for the pick. It's easy to pick the sexy favorite.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you're right. I don't think there's many teams that want to play this Lightning team. Just to switch gears, I wanted to ask.
I don't think it'll be if I can interrupt for a second, I don't think it'll be a great price. I think Vegas will understand, not the Golden Knights, but the casinos will understand this is still the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's the playoffs. They know how to win. So I don't think you'll get a great price for an 8 seed or a 7 seed, but I would definitely take it. No, it's a positive value.
What about football? Switching gears over to the NFL, do you think there's any teams right now that really made a splash that's just going to make them a significant favorite to win it all this year?
Well, let me ask you, Harry the Greek. Atlanta Falcons, they get Kirk Cousins. Does over-under, does that increase their wins? Is that an upgrade? Because there was talk of Cousins. Now he is the quarterback, possibly Fields. And then on top of that, are you surprised that your Chicago Bears have not traded Justin Fields, and what do you think is going to happen? Cousins.
Well, that's a two-part question. I am not worried as much about Kirk Cousins being the quarterback, at 150 years old, coming off an Achilles tear, okay, and leading an Atlanta Falcons team that's primarily a running football team. Now, that could benefit a quarterback with Kirk Cousins' caliber. I was just talking on a show just recently, and they asked me the same question. And they says, well, why would you leave Justin Jefferson? I said, hold on, man. I says, he's going to a team that has a run-first mentality. And I says, that will set up the play-action pass. The Kirk Cousins of old, prior to him getting injured, I think he would have an absolute phenomenal season. Because with that running game and the addition of DJ Moore coming into this, not DJ Moore,
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah. Okay, he's going to run the slot. He could peel the top off a defense. It could be very dangerous. But I'm going to go on record right now and tell you they're not winning the division, and they may even still finish third, because it's very difficult to come back from that type of injury at that age. And the other part of the question was, am I surprised that the Bears are holding on to Justin Fields so far? No, not really. There's a couple of reasons for it. Number one, I think they're pulling a big smoke show that, they're going to trade them, whatever the case is. I think they're going to do is they're going to try to accumulate a lot of picks. Someone's going to have to blow them away. The rumors out of Chicago is they didn't really quite offer enough. They did offer a first-round pick for Justin Fields, from what I understand, but they wanted a player. And the player they
wanted a first-round pick and a player for Justin?
Correct. That's what they were looking for. And they offered a player that they didn't like. Atlanta supposedly offered a second-round pick for Justin Fields, and they wanted to go ahead and give the tight end from Florida. What was his name, Peter?
Kyle Pitts.
Wow.
And the Bears didn't do that. They wanted the first, and they wanted Pitts. They're not in a hurry to get rid of it. Chicago's in a dilemma here, JP.
A second in Kyle Pitts?
Yep. Chicago is in a dilemma right now with
this
Justin
is why
Fields.
Chicago
is Chicago. Correct.
Yeah.
That defense isn't bad, though. This defense is pretty damn stifling. But let me tell you something. This offense, if they don't go after Caleb Williams, I am telling you now, they may riot in Chicago for the mere reason.
Got news for you, Greek. They do that every day.
They do that. Want to go back to the political thing?
It's on the south side. We don't.
No, that's all over the place. No, but seriously.
No, what you're saying.
I mean, with the Mitch Trubisky
they won't
thing,
riot for a day. That's how crazy it will be.
Yeah.
They'll be so mad they won't riot.
They won't shoot somebody.
I mean, you gotta think about this, man. It's not that long ago with the Mitchell Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes thing. I don't know if they can do it, but you know what? I was a fan of this Caleb Williams until I really heard this young man speak. I want part ownership in the company. I don't want a rookie contract. My father's going to do this. In order for me to do an interview, you're going to have to pay me. If it's not something that I want to talk about, I'm going to defer it to my family. They can answer the questions. This has got bust written all over.
I've been saying it for ages.
Okay,
and I didn't think so. For me, too immature.
I'm telling you, he may be a generational talent. I say stick with him. If you want to move on from him, Caleb Williams, in my opinion, just for those reasons, is not the quarterback I would take. So what do you do? You trade the pick.
Bears will get it wrong. They'll get it wrong. They'll trade the pick, and then they'll get lots of draft picks, and they'll screw up the draft picks.
Yeah.
They
didn't screw it up because they had a chance for Brian Burns. They didn't want to overpay for him. They let him go to the Giants. Good riddance. They were going to get Saquon Barkley. They didn't want to pay that kind of money, so they took DeAndre Swift with half the money in guarantee. Mm-hmm. They already have a good running backfield. And I like DeAndre Swift. He's not Saquon Barkley, but he's healthier.
Damn good player. Had as many yards from rushing yards as Saquon did last year per game.
Yes, he did. So and you know what? They addressed the safety position after letting Eddie Jackson go. They need one defensive end. Don't be surprised at Chase Young or young man from Minnesota. He's the next.
No, he just signed with the Texans.
He did sign.
Danielle Hunter. Yeah, he's gone. To
Danielle Hunter.
2 years, 48 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, edge rushers.
I tell you one thing. At least Chicago is not showing that they're going to overpay.
Yeah, well,
for some
I
of these
think
players.
if they were offered a 2 in Kyle Pitts, Atlanta's 2, which is a
It
high
was 2
2.
or a 3. That's what it was.
Well,
It
that's
was
a
a
big
2 or the
difference.
3.
That's a big difference.
I'm almost positive, and these were very reliable sources coming out of Chicago that were actually giving me this information.
No, that's what the going rate was. I had heard 2 and a 5 for Justin and 2 and a player, but 2 and Kyle Pitts. Although Kyle Pitts hasn't done anything really.
No, but in that offense, I think he'd be a little bit better because he's not really
Yeah.
that guy that wants to sit there and hold and block. You've already got that with the big hosses they have up front right now.
If I'm what Justin Fields did last year, and I understand a lot of these analytics guys don't like him, and the second half numbers are bad. But what 26 and 15 last year, almost 1,000 yards rushing, and I heard Damian Woody say this the other day, and I think it's right. He said, if there's offensive coordinators out there who can't figure out what to do with Justin Fields and about 2 or 3 offensive draft picks that you're going to get for Caleb Williams, and you can't put an offense together, shame on you. Yeah. Shame on you. And I'm like, I agree. That kid, to me, he's Cam Newton. He's Cam Newton. He's not a great accurate passer, but his running ability is phenomenal.
Yep.
He can distribute the ball. I don't.
And JP, when he was in college, he could run the ball, but he was primarily a pocket passer.
Yeah,
he could throw the ball all over with accuracy. Something happened when he went to Chicago. Well, that's probably correct.
So to answer, he got in the Bears organization, which
so to answer the first part of your question, Peter, if Justin was in Atlanta, that would spell problems for the NFC South, especially with the mentality that they want to run that football. They would have been a team to really be right. If they would address the defense, oh my Lord, Atlanta would have been a team you could probably have a problem with.
Listen, that's what I said. Justin Fields with Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Tyler Algier and this an improving offensive line, and then the 8th overall pick, and that's Justin Fields for $2.4 million this year. And 20 some next year if you wanted 25 million for 2 years, and you just paid $100 million guaranteed for a 36-year-old guy that can't move in Kirk Cousins, who's won 1 playoff game. I listen. I think they overpaid. I think there was a desperation move, and that may be because what you said. They were probably planning on getting Justin.
No, when the price
was too high, and when the price was too high, they said, "Crap! All right, what's our next?" Kirk Cousins, okay, we'll pay him. I think that's what happened.
JP, I got to tell you, and I find it, you hit the nail on the head, even though we're kind of just bantering. I mean, Chicago can't get it right, but this shit has got to stop up there in this city. It's too big of a town, with too much passion for an organization from the fan standpoint that they're demanding something a little bit better. They're getting that defense correct, but I'll tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me that they don't get rid of Justin, they don't trade the pick, and they still draft a quarterback. Now, nothing's saying that they can't do it. I mean, think what they did with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, or with Steve Young. They've done this time and even with Patrick Mahomes.
And the starter goes down, somebody comes and gives you a 1 for Justin.
The Chargers, Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers come to mind.
Right.
Also.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me they did that, but when you're in this type of position. And by the way, Caleb Williams just said, "Hey, man, I'm not going to do your physical yet. I'm going to cancel that meeting."
Yeah,
really?
That's just
You know what? Trade the pick to Washington, then trade it 2 more spots down, pick up all this draft capital, and you get Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Get Marvin Harrison Jr. Now with the Atlanta Falcons and all that hype with Cousins being the starting quarterback. Can you take advantage of this by betting on the Bucs to win the NFC South? What are the odds right now? Because you kind of know that Vegas doesn't.
Odds aren't there yet.
Okay.
Odds aren't there yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to get big odds. But the odds are going to get a little larger because of Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta. But I've already shared my reasons. Number one, they overpaid for the guy. I think he'll have pretty good success down there, and the play action is going to work well because they're going to run the football. JP, you even got to admit that. He's not coming from a pass-first mentality. Right. Mm-hmm. He's going to come where and let me tell you something. Kirk Cousins can read a defense. He just can't win the big game.
Right.
So
I just saw somebody on Twitter say, though, yes, Kirk Cousins can't win a big game. But when have the Falcons been in a big game?
Against the Patriots. I think he would have had a little better. Nah, he wouldn't have won that either.
And blown it with trying to pass the ball with Cousins getting killed behind that offense.
All right, Greek, we gotta skedaddle, get a break in, then we're gonna talk to our good friend Sandra Golden of 92.9 The Game in Atlanta to see what's going on up there. How this has been received, like Kirk Cousins, and it hasn't been received very well by the fan base.
Seriously, they really wanted Justin Fields that bad, I guess.
Yeah, he's from Atlanta. Yeah.
Well, there's also another team, before you let me go, that is still in the market for Justin Fields. There's two of them. Actually, it's the Raiders.
Wow, the Raiders.
And you ready? The Miami Dolphins. There's rumors coming out of Chicago that Miami is looking for a Justin Fields. I don't know how that would work.
Listen, I think it would work. Justin Fields as a backup, if you can get him at a low price, because the money's not much, what a great goal line package you would have with a guy like that, especially when you have Tua and you don't want him running.
Tua. They're thinking about Tua going bye-bye. And there's a third. There's a third
this year going bye-bye this year?
And there's a third team that's starting to emerge that's coming out of Chicago. You ready? The New York Giants, because they're thinking about releasing Danny Dimes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, Greek, good stuff. Love you, brother.
Hey, man, really nice talking to you.
Make it easy on the wife, will you? Okay, just because the pot isn't spotless, you don't have to beat her with a spoon, all right?
She likes it.
All right, that's a whole other episode. All right, great.
That's after 10 o'clock at night. I'll see you guys.
Get out of here.
You guys have a great day.
All right, Harry the Greek right there. Always fun to chat with him. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, as promised, Sandra Golden from 92.9 The Game will join us, and we'll find out how this is being received in Falcon Land up there in Atlanta. We are brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Get your testosterone right. We had Chris Lugo on the program the other day talking about all the benefits of testosterone. You can check that out. It was on Monday's show on the 11:45 segment. Really, really good stuff. Go check the archives on YouTube or Twitter for that. Back in 3. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Did you know Steve Weintraub founded the Golden Diamond Source over 40 years ago by selling gold-plated sand dollars? And to celebrate, the Golden Diamond Source is selling gold sand dollar jewelry with the proceeds supporting Julie and Steve Weintraub's foundation, Hands Across the Bay. Yes, in 1984, Steve opened their first location, expanded to 9 stores as far as Atlanta, but now they've consolidated all that inventory under one roof, becoming one of the largest family-owned fine jewelry stores in the country. Julie, of course, joined forces with her husband 20 years ago, and they're going to celebrate by offering up to 40% off select jewelry items. Plus, with gold prices near all-time highs, it's the perfect time to trade in your broken or unworn pieces for something new and stunning. Unlock the value in your jewelry box today at the Golden Diamond Source. It's always one place, and it's always a great place. The Golden Diamond Source celebrating their 40th anniversary, 3800 Olmington Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we are pre-recording for this Wednesday show because we'll be at the Baker Mayfield press conference, Peter and I will.
Yes.
So we'll be bringing you all that fun and frivolity on Thursday with our brilliant questions in the press conference, if we are actually allowed to ask questions. So that'll be fun. So we're recording. If you're commenting on this brilliant, wonderful show, sorry we're not referring to your comments because we don't see them right now. But with that in mind, let's bring in our good friend Sandra Golden from 92.9 The Game in Atlanta, my longtime friend and colleague and overall most wonderful person on the planet. What's up, Sandra? How are you?
What's up? The wind's beneath my wings, JP. So they don't let you ask questions? Come on.
Yeah, sometimes they give me the side eye because they know, I might say something.
Yeah.
Great. No, the Bucks love me. They love me.
I know.
But they will. I noticed this is interesting because you heard the infamous question of Todd Bowles during I think it was for the second playoff game where they're heading to Detroit. So one of the late, you know what I'm talking about. So now you have to RSVP to the press conference. They make sure they're clearing everyone. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Interesting. So we RSVP'd and they said you can come. So shocking development.
Good. Very good.
How are you? How's things in Atlanta? Justin Fields isn't coming. Have they burned the town down yet?
There is a level of, first of all, I sound stuffy, so I apologize. I've had this flu bug with the pollen. I normally don't sound like this.
Well, thank you for staying up late for us. That's very nice of you.
We're so old. So I told you this morning, I really was shocked at the split down the middle, 50-50 of we're so disappointed we're not getting Justin Fields. And yeah, he's our hometown hero and Georgia boy went to Ohio State. We get that. But I don't understand why the disconnect was the Falcons went out and got the best free agent quarterback available. Not even close. Did they overspend? Absolutely. But Justin Fields backslash. Now, by this afternoon, you can imagine they were coming back around and realizing that the NFL has kind of decided that Justin Fields, the NFL will tell you where you need to be.
Yes.
So I'm actually shocked that he might not be a starting quarterback this coming season.
Yeah, I am too. I'm flabbergasted, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But we've been hearing that the Bears are asking for a one and a quality player. And it was that price too high for the Falcons. They were asking for a one and Kyle Pitts. And of course the Falcons said, pound sand, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't hear that about Kyle Pitts. Now, what I did hear is their first offer, their first ask was that they wanted a one. But I got to tell you, JP, I don't know what happened. The wheels are coming off. And just like anything, the stock started dipping. Yeah. And then it became a second, 2 seconds, and then a second and a third. And I just was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So, and now listen, I did hear Dan Orlovsky talk today about the best thing may be that he goes somewhere as a backup and really kind of gets an offensive line in front of him, learns from a veteran. I mean, who knows? I'm shocked. I really am.
I am too. And I thought, honestly, and I'm probably sure you've heard this from a lot of folks in Atlanta, Justin Fields with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier and hopefully an improved offensive line and Drake London and Kyle Pitts. And now they've added Darnell Mooney. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm telling you this. The Buccaneer defense and Todd Bowles just went, because I think Kirk Cousins is a hell of a player, but he's 36 or going to be 36, coming off an Achilles.
Yep.
And if you ask any linebacker, defensive, anybody on the Bucs defense, would you rather defend Justin Fields with all those weapons or Kirk Cousins? They'd go Kirk Cousins. They would yell that so quick. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. These coaches are a hell of a lot smarter than me, and Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris. But it just seems like an overpay and you had much more flexibility with Justin Fields, and you might sell a few more tickets too.
Well, I love the overpaying part because I compared it to when you go to buy a car and your credit's 540 and they go,
yes, I do. As a matter of fact, yes. How did you know?
The Falcons are desperate. They had zero wiggle room.
Right.
Zero. So they're going to overpay, and that was how it went down. But now let me ask you this. Justin Fields and his accuracy, and they did a deep dive actually on Mooney, coming and how good he was with Fields in 21, if you remember that. Like they were going to be well, since then, over his career, the Mooney numbers, and I actually just retweeted it, nearly 40% of the deep targets to Darnell Mooney have been inaccurate in his career. Okay? They're inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
Over that span, the number one most accurate quarterback on deep targets, which they said was 20 plus yards downfield, is Kirk Cousins.
Wow. Nice stat right there.
There you go. That would be the reason why they do that. Let me ask you, Sandra, what has been the fans' response to Raheem and Zach Robinson and passing up on Bill Belichick? Because I think a lot of people, not only football-wise in the NFL, were surprised by that, but maybe the Falcon fans were surprised by that. Well, what's been the response with Raheem and Zach?
You want to talk about the deepest sigh of relief after no Bill Belichick? Maybe I'm just putting my own personal feelings out there. And I know y'all are watching the Patriot, this dynasty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't quite figure out why Bill Belichick said I'm going to do this show, because he comes off like such a big jerk face, in my opinion.
I agree.
He doesn't want to be there, and how he treats his player and his jealousy of Tom Brady and all that. It's just a bizarro world to me. Having said that, now I would tell Raheem Morris to run for office wherever he is. He owns the press conference. He owns the team meeting with the players. He is the greatest guy of all time. The second greatest guy is Terry Fontenot. So the two of those guys together, they're going to win the room. Now, can they coach? Can they turn it into wins? We shall see. It was really bad here last year in terms of morale and energy around. First of all, nobody butts in seats. That's it. Arthur Blake's a businessman at the end of the day. You know that.
Yeah.
But the other part of this is when you start to do the deep dive. So Raheem was in Washington for the first 3 seasons of Kirk Cousins' career. They know each other. They like each other.
Okay.
My friend, I have a very good connection in Minnesota, and they were talking about the kind of guy Kirk Cousins is behind the scenes. And Matt Ryan, JP, as you know this, the nicest guy ever, the golly gee guy, until he's not. And he starts snapping at folks and they really respect him in there. He puts up with nothing. He's the hardest worker in the room. He's a bit of a savant, nerd/savant. So, I mean, we are just, I drank the Kool-Aid. I just am so hopeful. I'm so sick of not being in the playoffs, of having a losing season. We've got this dynamic building. All we do is, rise up, and it's been awful. It's been absolutely awful.
Well, that's good for Tampa Bay, but I feel you. No doubt about that. And, and I hope, obviously it's good for business when the Bucks win, but I have a soft spot. I hate to admit this, but for Atlanta, especially Mr. Blank, he's a hell of a dude, and you want if the Bucks can't win it, I'd like to see Mr. Blank. Not necessarily, if Bucks fans will kill me for this, but it just I've worked for the man. He was very, very nice to me, and he's just such an incredible community benefactor. Just think Jeffrey Vinnick, Tampa Bay fans. He's every bit of that and more. Wow. So I hope he gets what he wants. Because 28-3.
He just wrote that he overpaid for Kirk, and that's what it is. And that's the other thing, you guys, the sticker shock that says 180 over 4 years.
Yeah.
Folks that don't understand how they actually were brilliant in working the cap and the numbers. They really are great. If you go look at Spotrac, over 4 years is a throwaway. 3 years you can renegotiate. And so, hey, what are y'all, speaking of overpaying, did they overpay Baker?
Hell no.
Oh,
hell no.
Compared to
it's a 2 year $60 million where you can get out in year 3. I think what was brilliant about both of those in the Mike Evans deal as well is they can get out of them in 2 years and not take a huge dead cap hit or anything, especially Baker's deal. They get out scot-free after year 2. and for the going rate market. And, I think, folks in Tampa might disagree that Kirk was the best free agent quarterback on the market, but that's to be debated because, Baker's 28 years old. He's 28 years old. He's much younger. He's more dynamic. And he's got more playoff wins than Kirk Cousins does in half the career. So, I mean, look, what's awesome? This sets up to have one hell of a race in the NFC South because it hasn't been, and the Saints may have something to say about it as well, but we'll see. So I think the division got a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, and it goes back to last year also. Cousins faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first week, had 3 interceptions. That was a close game. That was also a coming out party for Baker. I mean, what's the opinion of Baker in Atlanta? Because he didn't have necessarily.
They wanted him.
Well, he didn't have his best game against the Falcons, but of course, the last 2 drives there, he leads the Bucs to a win. So, what's the opinion of Baker there? You think?
I gotta tell you, Baker Mayfield won over everybody, right? First of all, we were all sitting on our couch as we're in the playoffs, right? So I think that and Baker has that enough. Y'all know him much better than me, but he just seems to be telling everybody to F off. I'm just going to go win this game. He has that factor. I don't know. I think the Falcons would have been happy to have him, and it. Why wouldn't they? It's a lot cheaper. And where are you guys going in the draft?
We're going center. If one of the 2 guys, the Duke guy or the Oregon Jackson Powers Johnson, the guy with 3 last names, which I always screw up, the Oregon big center. If he falls to 26, we'll grab him for sure. We got to upgrade his center. Or edge rusher, which is not a great class, but we could go there. So I think those are the two spots. I mean, if a great receiver falls there, I think we might pull the trigger on that because Mike's going to be 31. We could use a legit number 3. So I think there are definitely some options there, but I think they don't have to draft for need. They really don't. They can go a lot of different ways because they've done a really good job here in free agency. And that's the thing, Sandra. It's like they kept all 5 of the guys that they wanted to keep, and that's hard to do in this day and age. And nobody's going to talk about the Bucs because they didn't get an outside splash, but they kept all the guys that they want to. And continuity, as you know, is king in this league.
Oh my goodness, and that's hard to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now I think the Falcons are in the Dallas Turner sweepstakes. So the Jared.
Oh yes.
It's super sexy to me because what we do in Atlanta is we have to explain to people what pass rush is because we haven't seen one in so long.
It's been a while.
My partner, I go, tell people what they mean by pass rush because it doesn't happen. So the fact that now at 8, since they went and got Mooney, this is great. So, and how about if a Seminole Jared Verse is there, I will be very happy.
Ooh, wow. Ooh, yes. I will not be happy.
That's a steal for you guys.
I will not be. I don't want to see him in a Falcons uniform. He's a dog. He is a dog. Hey, real quick, how your Braves going to do? Is Acuna going to play?
Acuna is not only going to play. First of all, he wants to play now, and Sticker's knock it off.
Sit down.
The corner. So I will tell you that I went to Vegas last week with my girlfriends, and I put all the money on the Braves to win the World Series.
Wow.
You know Spencer Strider has a curveball?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You know that his ERA through spring is 0?
He's good.
You know that he struck out 9 yesterday over 5 innings? It's spring training. He's in
9 over 5 innings? Oh, my God.
9 over 5. Yeah.
Wow. How's that stinking new stadium you got there and all the battery and all that we're so jealous of that we need down here?
I love it. I love it. Yeah, Tampa Bay's still going to be good, right? Yes.
Well, we'll win, 90 regular season games like we always do, and then we can't freaking score in a whorehouse in the postseason.
You can't keep pitchers healthy. Another one went out today.
And Taj Bradley.
No.
We're jealous of your baseball team and your stadium and your battery, very much so.
Yeah, that battery is the Braves just do it right for sure.
Yeah, no brainer, man.
Come up to Atlanta and we'll host you. Do it from here and we'll host.
Yeah, you know what? We should do that. Yeah, we should definitely do that. Yeah, these idiots want to build a $2.4 billion publicly funded stadium in the same spot where it's failed for 25 years. Isn't that just pure government right there? Isn't that just brilliant? They want to build this. Morons. Absolute thieves, too. All right. Sandra, thank you for staying up late for us. I appreciate you. You can go to bed now.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
I love you guys. I really appreciate you even asking me to be on. Thank you.
You're the best. You're the best. Sandra Golden, 92.9 The Game. We love them. What is the name of your show? Steak and Golden. What is it? Golden Steak. What is it?
I don't know. She's gone now.
She's gone.
Yeah. She had to go to bed.
Yeah, she needs to go. She's like, I'm gonna go to bed for God's sake. I'm sick.
Bed. Get off this show.
I'm sick for God's sakes. Shut up,
Talk
people.
about the Braves. Shut up.
Bugging me. All right, let's do a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about Taj Bradley getting injured. Oh my God. We got some FSU lawsuit news I want to pass on to you kids, and we'll still work on that boat parade. We need more ideas on the boat parade. Stay with us. Hey, it's a great time to buy a house and get a mortgage with American Mortgage Services. Okay, I got your attention now, but JP, rates are at 8%. That's true, but I spoke with our friend Scott Fitzgerald at AMS Tampa, and this is what smart people are doing. Rates peaked at 8% last month, but they've come down, and AMS recently locked some folks in the high sixes. Prices have also stabilized or dropped in some areas. So if you're going to eventually buy, now is the best time to get the house you want. Fitz will get you the best rate out there, shopping it around to dozens of lenders, and when rates come down in a year or so and the frenzy begins again, prices go bananas again, you will already have the pick of the litter. Then he will refinance you and keep costs at nearly zero because that's what they do at AMS Tampa. You're back at 4% in the house you wanted while others fight the frenzy. Be smart. Stay one step ahead. Email Fitz at scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. Scott Fitzgerald, NMLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Everyone knows Italiano Insurance is your go-to for home insurance, but they also have an amazing team that focuses on business insurance. Yes, your business is most likely your biggest asset, so make sure you have the right coverage at the most competitive price. And if you started a side hustle recently, don't forget you need business insurance, because if you get sued in this over-litigious society we live in, you could lose all your personal wealth. So get that business insurance. And for the best customer service, always choose Italiano. My representative, Charity, is amazing. I called her late on a Friday because my insurance was going to lapse. She stayed late until the job was done. You just don't find that anymore. Give them a call, 813-877-7799. That's 813-877-7799. Italiano Insurance.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks of the Gold and Diamond Source. It's their 40th anniversary. Julie and Steve Weintraub have built one hell of a business right there. And if you're shopping for a diamond, you know, you go to a jeweler, you don't know. They'll tell you, oh, it's a Clarity this, it's an S1, it's a whatever. You don't know, right? You don't know what you're paying for. You got to be able to trust these people, right? Well, they've been there for 40 years. And they're not going anywhere. And they always have their diamond savings account where you can bring your diamond back, get what you paid for it, and you can upgrade. Nobody does that but the Gold and Diamond Source. Great folks over there. So head on over to 3800 Olmerton Road and tell them JP sent you. All right. Little update on the FSU lawsuit against
nice. I want to hear
the
this.
ACC and by proxy ESPN.
Did
So they're
Herb
fighting.
Street
No,
lose
we
his
had.
mind, by the way. Did he
What's
lose
that?
yet? Did Herb Street lose his mind, by the way? Because anytime he has to deal with an FSU fan, I mean, he just goes off on this rant and tangent and just goes crazy and says FSU fans, this and that. And I just want to know if he went crazy yet. That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Look, he deserves it. Every bit of it. He's the one who started this whole charade.
Yep.
And started the agenda driven. By the way, did you see that? Speaking of agenda driven stuff, Sage Steele, who was working for Outkick now, I believe, former ESPN, former ABC 28 here. Knows Sage, knew her back then really, really well. Mm-hmm. Great lady and so courageous, in what she's done and taken on the fight with ESPN. She revealed the other day that when she was tweeting in support of Riley Gaines against Leah Thomas, the transgender swimmer, the suits at ESPN told her to stop.
Shocking. They're not.
And she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We have ESPNW. We're supposed to be supporting women and women's college athletes. And we talk all this mess about supporting women and all this, the ladies soccer team and equal pay and all that. And now we're not going to support women in this. She's like, no, that's the hill I'm going to die on. I will keep it. So I ran right to Twitter and tweeted something else. Good for her. And she has principles. She stands on them and exposed that it's, if you didn't know already that they are extremely far left and agenda driven, which is, look, it's fine. It's your company. Do it what you want, but don't masquerade that you're giving both sides of the opinion and the full story and not giving misinformation, because I've seen the reports they've done on Leah Thomas and others, and the reporting is horribly inaccurate and horribly one-sided. So you're not giving a full picture, and that's not journalism. So don't masquerade as journalists if you're going to be agenda-driven. Just come on out and declare it and say this, who are you? Have all these opinion shows, but you only allow one side of the political debate. And it does become very political. So, let's not pretend that we're not who we are. And that's all I'm saying. You can have, you can have it be on whatever side of the opinion you are, but don't masquerade as journalists like you're giving fair and balanced coverage when you're not. And you're telling your talent that you can't, just like you told your talent, FSU's not getting in the playoff. They're not doing it. They screwed us. We're time to screw them. We're going to promote our SEC product in Alabama and Texas, and the ACC can go pound sand. It's not it's not in our best interest. Oh, but what about fairness? What about the game of college football? What? Screw that. No, we're going to do our self-interest. And Kirk, we need you to go out and put this agenda out there on Florida State. And he did it dutifully. He did his job as he was told to do it. Just admit what you're doing. Admit it.
And not only
they didn't admit it in that case of Riley Gaines, and they're not admitting it here. But and that's the lawsuit, by the way. Mm-hmm. If it does go through, and there's also a state of Florida lawsuit that names ESPN, and I need to check on where that is, because she's the one who said, we want to see your show notes. We want to see all this stuff. We want to see the emails. We want to see everything. And that's the lawsuit I'm really interested in. But the other one, as far as getting out of the grant of rights, which also involves ESPN, because they're the grants holder, and they have yet to exercise the option that's going to allow them to make hundreds of millions of dollars, because this ridiculous deal that the ACC agreed to is about 50 cents on the dollar of what the market value is. So why wouldn't ESPN extend that? Well, because there's going to be a legal mess if they do. And I think they don't want any part of that. But this lawsuit against the ACC to get out of this grant of rights, venue, as Scott Jeeves told us when he came on a couple weeks ago, it's a crucial question in this case. The ACC wants it to be heard in Charlotte, and Florida State wants it to be heard in Tallahassee. Now, normally, as Scott explained it, whoever files first gets the venue. And of course, you have to have reasonable, intent of why you're there. The ACC says because that's where the conference is hubbed, and Florida State, well, this says this is our deal against the ACC, so it should be heard in Tallahassee. And clearly, those two venues will be very different. I mean, I can't really see a judge in Tallahassee ruling against Florida State, especially when they have a great case, right? And I think that's why venue is so important here. The law is on their side. And the only way they get screwed is if a agenda-driven judge, which we've seen plenty of these lately, right, wants to go outside the law and screw Florida State. So venue is very, very important. And their venue argument, I think, they filed something again on Friday night without getting into the legal weeds, is, most attorneys will say they have a very, very strong argument. The biggest basis being is the ACC needed to get all their member institutions, or a quorum of their member institutions, to approve a lawsuit against one of their members, and they did not do that. And so that's a huge problem. That's part of their bylaws, and they violated them, and they violated a lot of their bylaws in issuing these grant of rights to ESPN. So there's a myriad of these issues that I think Florida State certainly has a great legal case. That doesn't always mean you win, but they have a great case, and I think that's why the ACC is eventually going to come to a number and an outside, as Scott G's rightly predicted on the venue question, and has said that they're going to settle out of court for 100 million, 130, or maybe less, depending on how strong the case is that FSU comes up with. So either way, they're in the Big Ten by 2026, in my opinion.
Yeah, Big Ten or SEC, which has been talked about. And then also that clears the way for a team like USF to go to the ACC. Yeah. And again, a lot of people say, well, it's not a powerful conference. It's still one of the big conferences out there, one of the Big Five. So
I don't know if it still will be, though. That's the thing. It's with Florida State, North Carolina, Miami, and Clemson leave, what's left? And it's going to sound a lot like the AAC. But it's a step up. It's a step up, and it's a step in the right direction for USF, and that's where they need to be. So, I mean, there's a lot of, people say it's going to be a Power 2 conference. It's just going to be the Big Ten and the SEC. So, where's this all going? Nobody knows. But if you're USF, you got to put yourself in the best position, and they've done that in spades in the past year with their football team, their basketball program, and the stadium. So not much more Michael Kelly can do. He can't control the future of college athletics. He could just try to steer the ship where he thinks it's going, and he's done a hell of a job. So we'll see. And, they got their tournament coming up, and let's get in March Madness and have some fun with that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Let's win some games and get into the tournament. And you never know. Once you get in, then they could be the story of the tournament. They've shown that.
Yeah.
So. And they do things that you love a basketball team to do, which, we could talk to Coach Zimroth about. Play defense.
We've talked about that. Yeah.
Yes, they could score from the perimeter. They could score from anywhere. They create their own shots.
Defend.
Yes, I mean, that's what you have to have. You have to have guard play, and you have to have defense, and have both of those things so they can go a long way. Now, how far do they have to go in this next tournament to convince, this committee?
I think they got to win it. Unfortunately.
Well, then go win it. Go win it. The whole damn thing. We'll from, right? Major League. Let's just
go win the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
All right. I got a little nugget for you.
Okay.
So a little birdie, little golf reference there, pun intended, told me that Tiger Woods is strongly considering playing in the Valspar.
Wow.
Yeah, because he didn't play Arnold Palmer, Bay Hill, which he normally plays. He didn't play Players this week. He's not playing the Players. So there's only one other place he can play before teeing it up at the Masters that would make any sense, and that's the Valspar.
What a swing that would be.
Yeah, because it's Valspar's Copperhead is, nothing's like Augusta. But as far as, the venues on the PGA Tour, it's about as close as you're going to get. Yeah. And he finished second, 6 years ago here. So it's a track that he played really, really well, and I think, fits his game that he has these days. So wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, it would be amazing.
And I think they only have the only hospitality they have left. Remember, we told you to get your tickets early, people. Is their big Copperhead Club, which is like sweet. It includes the 18th, a box on 18, and you get the Packard's Clubhouse as a premium food and drink venue. So you big ballers out there, because if you wait till Friday will be the day when they get their final commitment list, and they already have a hell of a field, whether Tiger comes or not. Hell of a field. So, but if Tiger does come in on Friday, good luck getting tickets, because it's going to be bananas. So I would suggest you go to ValflowerChampionship.com and get your tickets and your hospitality if you so desire, because that would be something. I'm not predicting he's coming. I'm not reporting that he's coming. I'm just saying that some people within the business, and it's more than one, and as I just laid it out, it certainly would, behoove him to do so, because he doesn't have a whole lot of tournament experience this year, obviously, not talking career. So that matters. And
Yeah. By the way, the last time you reported on something and everybody made fun of you on it, you were correct about it. The 90% thing with Prime, you were right on that. So if
he's not even interested in USF. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. He was very close.
I'm looking forward to that football season this year with Coach Golich and Byron Brown, possibly in the Heisman conversation.
Yeah. Did you see him at the presser the other day? He's 220.
Yes.
He's like 220. Like he gained 15 pounds. He's buff, man.
He's Cam Newton to me. That's what he reminds me of. Do not mention those two in the same breath. I kind of did because he's from North Carolina, and I did ask him a question I think a couple of months ago and saying, I see Cam Newton with you, but I think can be better than Cam Newton. Most likely won't get beat up.
Well, Cam Newton was pretty damn good.
Yes,
he won an MVP and went to a Super Bowl.
50 touchdowns.
Their personalities are just totally different people. So
definitely.
Wash your mouth out with soap after saying that.
All right. Well, he did win a national championship with Auburn too, also. So
that's right. No, he's a hell of a player. Hell of a player.
Not a dresser. He's a hell of a player, not necessarily a dresser.
Last time I saw him in person was in Carolina, and he was wearing a grandmother's hairnet and a woman's dress.
I don't get it.
He was. He was.
He was. Get it.
Why? And I watched him walk through his locker room like that, and I was just like, and you look at the other guys, and the other guys are like, what are you doing?
Is this a joke? Like, are they playing a joke on us? Because we've seen it with athletes before.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm all for making a statement, but
why are you wearing a dress? What's the point of that besides embarrassment? It's almost like two guys are behind the scenes and saying,
style.
"Hey, what athlete? A style of what?" You sound like
he's wearing a grandmother. Like he's got kind of my grandmother's hairnet on.
You think Coach Brown would wear a dress? Never.
No.
Never. Come on.
No. All right. So what happened to Taj Bradley? He got removed from the game. What happened?
Pec soreness.
Soreness.
Yeah, whatever that means. So I guess he's going to undergo a MRI for pectoral tightness, according to the Tampa Bay Times.
And as we told you, when Josh Lowe hurt his hip, and they said, "Oh, it'll just be a week or two." No problem.
Already.
No,
I mean,
he's not going to be ready. Kevin Katz said we were warming up. He felt tightness, pectoral tightness, so we made a decision. It was probably best not to try to push it through right now. I'm pretty optimistic right now. I don't know why. I just feel like we caught it in time where hopefully it's not a big deal. Every time he says something like that, it's Tommy John.
Yep.
Now, this won't be Tommy John because it's pectoral, but it's like it just seems to – they don't have a really good track record of predicting stuff. So
no, they don't.
When it comes to injuries. So.
Yeah.
Here's something else about Josh.
It's crazy, by the way, how all the analytics, they're all about following analytics, but they can't get this right. I mean, and you kind of think, is this an organizational thing? Because we always talk about how great they are with turning pitchers around, but lately these pitchers are getting hurt. Is it a training thing? Does it need to be investigated? Because it can't go on. I mean, I get it. They're deep when it comes to pitching, but you look at their pitching staff right now as it stands. Zach Eflin, Aaron Savali, Zach Littell, who is a surprise, and Ryan Pepio, and you got Bradley. You lose Bradley, now where do you go?
Mm-hmm.
You bring somebody else up?
Yeah, they're going to have good luck with injuries this year when it comes to the starting staff, and they've never had good luck with injuries, and it's already going south on them. So it's good. I guess I've said this from the very beginning. They could win, 95 or they could win 75 this year. To me, it's a pretty big spread because of a lot of different things. But, and Josh Lowe, by the way, he said, where's the quote right here? Progressing slowly. He had a good day Monday. He got out, took some fly balls. He's hitting in the cage. So we're still talking about a week from now to get into a game. So.
And then the hip thing could be a lingering thing. And then furthermore, he's an athletic guy when he gets on the base pads. He surprisingly has deceptive speed. You need him healthy. He's one of your young stars that you're depending on because you decided not to go out in free agency and get yourself a veteran bat. So these are the players.
Well, that's because you're uncomfortable with the $90 million payroll.
I'm comfortable with,
I'm comfortable. We're gonna be on the loss end of the profit loss sheet this month.
I got a stomach ache. I'm uncomfortable. I mean, that's what you say, not about $90 million.
How uncomfortable you think the county commission and city council are in sucking up $2.4 billion of public money to put a stadium in the wrong place? How uncomfortable you think they are right now, Stu? And by the way, the Rays came back to the city council. I don't know the particulars of this, but my guy, Tom Mullins, who we had on from Raymond James, who knows how all these things work, basically wrote an article about they want now the Rays want the city to finance their portion of the infrastructure. It's like, we got you bent over. Ain't no lube whatsoever. But you know what? It's going to get worse.
Yep.
I mean, God,
these
guys have no freaking shame.
Nope.
Like, no shame.
None.
They must be sitting back there going, hey, what else do you think we can get?
Yeah.
Hey, how about if they finance our part of the infrastructure? Save us a few million on all right. Oh, let me throw that out there. They gave us everything else.
Well, I mean,
they guess what? They said yes.
Yeah. These are the type of guys I'm talking about making Cam Newton wear a dress or athletes wear dresses. These guys right here. These are the type of guys.
My God. I don't think it's going to pass, but we shall see.
Yeah.
Let's take one more break.
Sure.
One more break, and then we'll come back and finish this up. I want to say a big thank you to all our sponsors here today. Jeeves Law Group, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Italiano Insurance, the Golden Diamond Source, the Geddes Gordon Group, American Mortgage Services, and Synovus Bank. And I think we have 3 more advertisers coming on board in the next month or so. How about that? We're on fire. We are on fire now that we're on the radio. Even more. All right, quick break. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or try to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808. Everyone knows Italiano Insurance is your go-to for home insurance, but they also have an amazing team that focuses on business insurance. Yes, your business is most likely your biggest asset. So make sure you have the right coverage at the most competitive price. And if you started a side hustle recently, don't forget you need business insurance, because if you get sued in this over litigious society we live in, you could lose all your personal wealth. So get that business insurance. And for the best customer service, always choose Italiano. My representative, Charity, is amazing. I called her late on a Friday because my insurance was going to lapse. She stayed late until the job was done. You just don't find that anymore. Give them a call, 813-877-7799. That's 813-877-7799. Italiano Insurance.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back, kiddos, to the JP Peterson Show. Just a few minutes left here. As I mentioned earlier, we are recording on the night before, so we can be at the Baker Mayfield press conference on this Wednesday at 11 o'clock. That'll be fun. So we'll bring you all the coverage of that tomorrow on Thursday's show. Mm-hmm. So if we're not responding to your comments, that's why. By the way, at this late hour, as we tape, you know who's trending on Twitter?
Who's trending?
Jason Light.
Really?
Jason Light. Just everybody giving kudos to the guy who, brought back all 5 guys, and, let's get the boat parade going.
Yeah.
Let's get the boat parade. The Jason Light should be the Jason Light annual boat parade. The band's back together is the theme this year. And we all get on our little boats, head on out to Beer Can Island. Whoever buys that thing, maybe Jason will buy it now.
Yeah. There you go.
It'll be our permanent boat parade home. I love it.
I want to ask you, did you see the women's college basketball situation with Alexis Morris, the former LSU women's basketball player, played last year? Of course, there was a skirmish with LSU. Flay J, I believe I'm pronouncing her name right. Flay J Johnson. Her brother gets arrested, and she had this to say. You see, she basically said in so many words, need leadership. The incident occurred at the LSU guard. Flay J Johnson intentionally fouled South Carolina player.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah.
So ugly.
Yes, absolutely. And Morris posted this on Instagram. You see what I did to South Carolina last year by myself. My team wasn't ready. I can say it now. I played against South Carolina last year by myself. My team was scared. There you go. Either way it goes, that would not have happened. You got to have a leader on the court. So you mean Angel Reese isn't the leader? Or Kim Mulkey
these
leader?
These two may meet again soon.
Yeah.
And if they do, better have a strong officiating crew, because you don't want that to get out of hand. It pretty much got out of hand the other night, and the brother came over out into the court and, trying to protect his sister, and that could have got really freaking ugly.
Yep. Got arrested and everything. And
I'm glad he should be arrested.
Kind of been a little bit dirty, wouldn't you say? I mean,
there were cheap shots all over the place. It was bad. It was bad. And it's a great rivalry, and it really, women's college basketball, man. It's like, I'm here. You don't think I'm watching that game, that rematch? Hell yeah, I'm watching that rematch. And Caitlin Clark, you don't think I'm watching that? Sign me up, bro.
Yep.
Sign me up for all of it. So, all right. Congrats again to Jason Light. Levonte David is signed, sealed, and delivered. 1 year, $10 million, richly deserved. So it's time for the Jason Light boat parade. So let's get it done. So our thanks to Sandra Golden from 92.9 again. That was a lot of fun chatting with her about what's going on in Atlanta. Harry the Greek, I don't know what the hell he beating his wife with a spoon. Come on, man, you're better than that. And of course, Coach Z. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. Great job, Peter Blake. We will be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity and all the happenings from the Baker Mayfield press conference. We will see you then.